Everyone. So this tutorial is going to be about how to write PGSQL function. So it's the same thing as writing SQL in Oracle, but this is Postgres database engine. So we'll be using PGSQL. So I'm going to start with a simple function first, which is basically writing a subtract function, and then I'll work my way to writing Factorial and later on Fibonacci series function. So let's start with subtraction. So to write a function in PGSQL, you have to use this keyword await, and you can say or with S. So basically, if you're going to run the function again, so it will create the function from start. So you specify the function name, but before you specify the function name, you have to say function. Then the function name is, we give it subtract nums. Then you provide the uh, parameters for the functions. For example, we want to subtract two numbers, right? So we provide num1, and the data type of that number is going to be integer. Then num2, the data type is going to be integer as well. So, and then you say return. So the data type that we want to return here is going to be integer. And as you put double $sign. So this basically means the start of the body of the function. So we go ahead and basically write the body of the function here. So if you want to declare a variable, you can say declare, then provide the variable name. But in this case, I don't need to declare a variable, or I can just declare results, right? I can declare a variable, but I'm not going to assign any value to that variable, right? So I'll say results, then I'll say here begin, then I'll say here it's going to be, so results, we use this as equal to assign number to the variable or value to the variable. So we say equal to num1 minus num2. Right. So after we've um done that, the next thing we do is basically return the result, right? Return the result. But here you have to make sure that you provide the data type of the results, which is going to be integer, right? Because actually you want to return the integer as data type. So you have to make sure that a result is the same data type that you want to return, right? So we say return results, then end here. So basically you end the um, function block. So so to specify the end of the function, you have to put $sign here and specify the language of this function as a PL PG SQL. Now we can run this function. So it's successful. So to verify, we can say select. So we call this function, we invoke it by saying sub nums. Then we provide the two values that we want to subtract. So, for example, 8, um, 3, right? 8 minus 3 should give us 5. So, if I run this now, I should get 5 as the result. You can see, right? So, this is how you can create a subtraction function with PGSQL. Now, let's go to the other one, which is basically going to be using if and else statement as well as for loop. So this is going to be a factorial, right? So um, I'm going to comment this one out. I'm going to say create or replace function. I'm going to say facts as in factorial. So we want to find a factorial of a number. So it has to take one parameter, which is the number, right? So it's a number, and the number is data type is going to be an integer. So it's an integer, and it's going to actually return integer, or I'm going to say the return value is going to be big int. So I say return big int as $sign. So here, I'm going to declare a variable called result and assign one as its value. So I say declare results, and it's going to be big int as well. I'm going to assign one to it. Now, so after that, I'll say begin. So for factorial, factorial of any number that is less than 0 is going to be undefined. But factorial of 0, if I remember correctly, is 1. So I'll say here, I'll say if num is less than 0, then return. I'm not going to return anything. I'm going to raise an exception. So say raise exception, and the exception is going to be undefined. Um, just put some statement there that basically tells that the number cannot be factorized. Okay. So after that, I'll put as if statement here, as if num is equal to 0, then so here I'm going to return 1, return 1. So factorial 0, here this function is going to return 1. Now the next thing is if any of the previous conditions doesn't match, right? We are going to execute, I mean, the function is going to execute this else statement, right? So else, here I'm going to use for loop, right? So I'm going to loop through the number from 1 to that number. So to use for loop, we have to use for. We have to write for. Then can say just like in Python or Scala, you use for, then provide I in. So I'm going to say from 1 to that number. So we use double dots, right? Dot num, which is this number here, right? So then we provide a keyword called loop, right? So now what I want to do is basically um, multiply the result by each element of this loop, right? So for example, we are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I say factorial 5, right? So it's going to what this is going to do is um I mean so here, right? If I say results equal to results multiplied by I. So what this is going to do is, so the result here has been initialized as 1. So it's going to say 1 times 1 in the first iteration. Now in the second iteration, the result of 1 times 1 is 1. So it's going to say um 1 times 2, 2 times 1, right? So now the result of 2 times 1 is going to be 2. Now the next iteration is going to be 3 times 2. Now the result of 3 times 2 is 6, right? And the next iteration is going to be 6 times 4. Now that is 6 times 4. So that will give you 24, right? So the last iteration is going to be 24 times 5, which I think should give you 120, right? So this is how it's going to work. So now I'm going to end this for loop here by saying end loop. So and make sure you end the if statement by using end if clause. All right. So after that, you end the code block. And now the last thing we need to do is basically uh, use double dollar signs to specify the end of the function and specify the language as PL PGSQL. PL PGSQL. Right. So let's try and execute this. Let me actually call it here. Select facts. Facts. So the number is going to be 5 here, right? So let's say I don't want to say okay. Okay, I'm getting error here. Control reach end of. Okay, so the error is saying control reach end of function without return. Basically, I haven't returned the result here. So that's why it's giving this error. So at the end of this add if statement, you need to put return results. Let's run it again. Now you see factorial 5 is 120. Okay, now let's move to Fibonacci series, right? So this is a bit more difficult compared to factorial, right? So the Fibonacci So let's say create or replace function. Function. So if you have a specific database you want to specify, right? You can say, specify that particular database. For example, I can say, I can write the function directly, right? Just like I did in the previous step, right? For example, this fact, right? But you can say public dot fact, which basically specify the database in which the function resides. So I can say public dot fibon. It's the same as writing a fib, then provide a function, right? So it's the same. So here as well, I'm going to provide a, a value, for example, num, and it's going to be of integer data type. Um, so I'll say returns big int as $2 sign. So for this Fibonacci series, the concept is basically about adding the two previous numbers together, right? And then you get the result. Then the next iteration, you have to add the two previous number together as well. So to do that, I'm going to declare two variables. One is current and the other one is previous. So say declare current is going to be um, it's going to be big int, and I'm going to say this is one, and declare previous is going to be a big int data type as well, and the value is going to be 0, right? So here I'll say begin. Now, so the Fibonacci of 1 is 1, Fibonacci of 0 is 1 as well. So I'm going to use an if statement here. So if num equal to 0 or num equal to 1, then return 1. Don't forget the semicolon, right? So else, I'm going to use a for loop here to basically loop through the number to find the Fibonacci, calculate the Fibonacci of that number. So I'm going to use a for loop, right? For I in so it's going to be from 1 to that number, 1 dot num, right? And I'm going to provide the loop keyword here. So now to do this, I have to say the new current number is going to be the previous current number plus previous number, right? So it's going to be this one, current plus previous. So I'm going to say here, current equal to um, current plus previous. Now, so this will be the new current number, right? So how about the new previous number, right? So the new previous number is going to be this current, right? So as you go through the iteration, right, you have to shift the uh, current to the and assign it to the previous variable, right? So I'm going to define a new variable here, right? Called new previous. So the new previous is going to be uh, the previous current, right? But you can't put it below here because if you put it below this current definition, right, it's going to assign the new current to this new previous. So it's better you basically, I think this is called bubble sort, right? So it's better to put it up here. So now what we have done is basically shift this current number to previous, basically assign it to previous. Now the new previous number is 1, right? But the new current number is basically 1 plus 0, which will give you 1. Now, so this is like an extra variable, right? That we need to use to basically assign the uh, previous current number to the previous number. So now to get the right previous number, I have to say previous equal to new prev, right? So now we get the same thing. So now 1 plus 0 is the new current number, and the previous number, the new previous number is going to be 1. Now, to go through the iteration, so say uh, now can say, let's say this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Or you can say 6, right? So now Fibonacci of 1 is going to be 1 plus 0, right? Which is the new current number, which is going to give you 1, right? And the um the new previous number is going to be 1, right? So you have current number as 1, previous number as 1, right? Now the Fibonacci of 2 is going to be current plus previous, which is going to be 1 plus 1, right? Which is going to give you 2. Yeah, if I'm right, I think so. So, and then the Fibonacci of 3, now you have the current as um have the current as 2 and the previous as 1. So that's to give you 1 plus 2, which is going to give you 3, right? So let's try and execute the function. But don't forget to put this semicolon. Now let's end this and for loop and loop, right? Now and if. So after I've ended the if, I need to return previous. Then and after that, I need to end the code block, and then the end of the function. Then the language is PGSQL. Now I need to um select fib 5, right? So fib 5, okay. Now so let me try and execute this. This should give me 5 if everything goes well, no? New prev is not a non-variable, okay? So I haven't declared it, that's why it's giving me the error. So I need to declare the new prev variable, declare new prev. And this is going to be big int as well. Okay, let me run it again. Um, this is brief, not brief. Okay. So Fibonacci of 5 is 5. Let Fibonacci of 5 is 5. All right. Now Fibonacci of 8 is what? 21. Let's check in our code and say here Fibonacci of 8 uh, is what? We should get 21. Now, okay, Fibonacci of 8 should get 21. Yeah, there we go. So now, what is Fibonacci of 10? That is 55. Let's check. Fibonacci of 10 should give us 55. So our code is working. So this is how you can write PLPG SQL in Postgres SQL, and also in Oracle it's the same way, right? It just allow you to write script within the relational database, just like you would do in other programming languages, for example, Python or Scala. So this is how you can do it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and leave a comment. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.